I got fake sushi on my desk, so I'm gonna flip it over to the kiddos' kitchen set. We need to sell that. Does any of your kids want a kitchen set?
No.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm very, very sure.
My son has had like minutes of fun with it. Oh, that was a good shot.
That's how it goes.
That's the one thing that like it's like wasting toys and wasting foods are like the two pet peeves in my life.
But I mean, you're gonna get the wasting toys. Like that's just gonna be.
Oh yeah,
that's gonna be a constant.
Yeah. I mean, I do it with games a little bit, but even then, I get pretty upset with myself if I buy a game and I don't play it.
And then they're gonna get old. They're gonna get older, and then they're gonna be like, "Why'd you get rid of that thing?" And they'll be like, "Because you touched it for literally like 10 minutes." It's like that was my favorite thing, and you sold it.
Yeah, you're like, "Well, what color was it?" It was red. No, it was blue.
Was it? No, it was red. All right.
So we had a little miscommunication, but I think
we did not have a miscommunication.
The royal we, because Richard, we're a team.
you and the podcast is the royal. You and the podcast presence.
I did have a good confrontation moment with the wife on communication. Not really confrontation. Like I de-escalated the situation really well. I'm proud of myself.
It's nice because, I mean, it sounds like it, since you said confrontation, it sounds like it de-escalated quite well.
Yeah, I did well. So we were talking about like something for, like we were pulling money out of something for the kiddo for school. And like, I was like, wait a minute, like, why weren't we saving up for this kind of thing? I thought we were saving up for this. And so I was all confused by it. And she was getting snippy on text. You can tell because she always does like all caps. Lots of exclamation points. There's lots of like.
You get sent all caps text. If I got sent an all caps text, I get super heated.
No, she doesn't. Because I'm basically kind of like parroting it. Because then she was like, "And you have a small penis." I was like, "Listen, no reason to bring facts into this conversation."
Yeah.
So I just said, I texted her and I was like, "Listen, let me get home because this isn't like I'm driving. We're not making any sense." And like the next
Wait a minute, you're texting while you're driving? Shawn.
Well, I mean, I looked up every like 15, 20 seconds.
Thank God.
Yeah. And so have you ever tried voice to text? Like it doesn't work. You're like,
only when I'm driving by the school.
Hey, I'll be home in 20 minutes. And it says, "I think your best friend's hot." And you're like, "That's not what I said at all." And so the next text I saw, I looked at my watch. It was like, "We talked about this a while ago."
Oh, no.
And I was like, all right. And I was like, wait till I get home. And so I get home and I ask her the same question. She's like, we talked about this and it's coming out. And I was like, I didn't stop her. I let her get through it because, Richard, if anybody's out there is engaged or is about to have a fight with a wife, you never stop. You never put the hand up and say, "Stop, let me start this over," because that doesn't go well.
Why? Yeah. I mean, I think that kind of falls into the go without saying, but I mean,
you make that mistake once. And
have you made that mistake?
Oh yeah, because it was the same kind of thing. Like we're having an argument. I'm like, wait a minute, like hold the horses, because we are not talking about the same thing. That didn't go well. We weren't talking about the same thing. I was right, but in the end, I was still wrong.
Yeah.
So
because
in this one, I forgot about that whole thing. But
the second you're like, let me interrupt you for a second, you've already lost the battle.
Well, it's not even like interrupting. It's like, wait, I know we're divulging here. Like you took a left, I took a right. Like let's stop this real quick and let me repeat myself. Because in the back, like I just thought of this as I was talking about that. Like I probably had that thought of like, hey, hold on, we're not. And like I was like, nope, let her finish. Put your hands down. Put them in the pockets. Wait.
Good. Yeah.
So she finished.
Good boy.
Yeah. And I said, okay, we're not talking about the same thing, I don't think. And so I was like, are we having to pull out of this? Or is it just like, no, it's this thing. I was like, okay. I didn't realize that was in this spot. I thought it was somewhere else. And she's like, oh, you must have thought that because of this. And I was like, yep, that's just bad communication.
which we didn't have because
No.
I knew what I was doing and the podcast knew what I was doing, but you did not know.
Wait, stop. Hold on. Wait a second.
We are in agreement. However, you and I are not.
Yep. So I said we should do a brocation, which we got an idea for a different show. And you were like, that'd be a great idea. And then before we started, you started saying, all right, you're going to choose. Do you want to do this or that? And I was like, oh, crap. I guess I'm choosing what you want to do.
That's right.
So, Richard, we're going to do a choose your own adventure.
Yep. In this scenario, I am the wife of this argument because I am victorious.
So, Shawn, you start to talk to your wife and she starts talking back about the situation. Do you A, interrupt her? Yep, A. Oh, guess what? You got eaten by a plant. All right, let's do this.
All right. What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Shawn.
And we're speaking the language of bromance. Today, Shawn, we're doing exactly what I and the podcast thought we were doing. We're going to have you choose your own adventure. So we've done this before,
yes.
And we did it. Basically, I read you the story, and then I gave you options, and then you picked the options.
Yes, if you remember, we call these the BroVentures, and the first one was Dead Man Walking by Burka Zerka.
Yep, that's right. That's right. So this time I have a few choices for stories, and I think I was going to try and give you a bit of an option in terms of what you want to pick.
Are these all by the great choose your own adventure author Burka Zerka?
It is not. There are one or two by Burka Zerka. So I'm gonna list some titles, and if you want more, I'll give you three choices. If you want more information on them, I can give you possibly a bit of a prologue.
I'm just going by title only. I think that's a good way to do it.
Okay. So, one title is Eternal. Another one is Necromancer.
Ooh.
And the last one I have is Careless Dayz.
Ooh, I like Careless Dayz.
And that's Days, Days.
Yeah, let's do Careless Dayz.
Okay.
Necromancer was in close
Dayz.
number 2. Because you know what? I'm never going to dance again.
Guilty feet, got no rhythm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So easy to pretend.
So premise-wise, from what I understand, this one might be fairly short.
Okay.
Depending on, how it ends. If it is, then we can always move on to another one. There are no rules in Choose Your Own Adventure.
Nope. You get eaten by a plant and you tell your teacher you're done reading and she's like, bullshit. Read it again.
Okay. So, is this
sexy?
This one starts out a little saucy.
Oh, nice.
You ready? Okay, here we go. Careless Dayz. This is
is the one where it's you walk in and your stepsister's caught in a couch. What do you do? God damn it! Even these.
This is by I didn't find the author. Hang on, I gotta dig around to find the author. I don't know. I'll look for the author here in a bit. All right. So here's where we're starting. Oh, so Your ragged cry of release fills the air and startles a pair of birds overhead. As they wing away, you clutch Mindy towards you, whispering thank you and kissing her passionately
thank
as
you.
the scarlet leaves overhead drift down onto her golden hair. These last couple of years have been hell. The two of you have had your love put to the test more than ever before. It's been utterly draining, physically, emotionally, financially. But as you look into Mindy's eyes, you know it was all worthwhile, and you know she feels the same.
I know you feel the same.
Such a warm feeling of peace and joy suffuses you, and you can't help but kiss her again. Days drift by, careless and lazy. It's really just the two of you out here now. There were only a handful left in the village after the sickness came, and since they've all packed up and left, no future out here. You've heard those words often enough, even in your younger days, and there was even a time you believed it. And of course, there were uglier words. The first meeting with Mindy came while dropping off a necklace of your mother's. The clasp needed repairing, and she was still a jeweler's apprentice. You'd always been considered eccentric, and mother stopped bothering to ask you whether her dear boy was going to find a nice girl and give her a grandchild long ago. You expected you'd die alone and a virgin. You were being... If you were being completely honest with yourself, but when you met Mindy, there was a spark between the two of you immediately, and before long, a lit bonfire in your heart.
Hey, Mindy, can you fix this clasp and make me a man?
But the two of you knew when you were no longer welcome, retreated from life in the village, and moved to the cottage to the other side of the hill. Eventually, all the others left. Good riddance to that lot, you muttered, watching the last cart being drawn away. We can do as we like now. What would you like to do? You can look around the cottage, walk to your tree, walk to the village, or make love to Mindy.
Well, I just got done making love. What am I? Like a machine?
No, this is days past.
Oh, so days have passed.
See,
Well,
there was a prologue, and now we're starting.
Well, I mean, I can look around all over, but if Mindy's in the mood, I got to be a good husband and make some sweet, sweet love to my lady.
All right. I just can't stay away from you, you admit with a little laugh, crawling under the covers and covering with kisses.
I can't stay away from you. Kiss me.
Your lovemaking is slow and gentle. Ever since the illness, you've been mindful of the fact that they're still a bit fragile. Afterwards, the two of you spend some time cuddling before you reluctantly extricate yourself from the bed. Got a lot to do today, but
I gotta
just
ask
wait
first,
for tonight.
like, Mindy hasn't said anything yet. She's not a corpse, is she?
I don't know.
That's going to be weird. It's like
your
Shawn just had sex with a corpse.
Your choices are look around the cottage, walk to your tree, walk to the village, or make love again.
What am I, a machine? I'm going to walk around the cottage.
Look around the cottage. The cottage, well, it's more like a shack. It's seen better days, and it wasn't much even back then. The fire's gone out, and the only light comes from gaps in the boards that are now letting in the icy bite of winter. It's early for a first frost, and you have a feeling this year may be a bad one. Opening the pantry, you find nothing but a Opening the pantry, you find nothing but a cloud of dust that drives you into a coughing fit.
Mindy, told you to clean this shit.
Sneaking a guilty glance at where they're resting on the bed, you relax when you see you haven't weakened them. They were sick for so long, on the verge of death, that even now they haven't recovered their strength. And you worry constantly they'll have a relapse. There's no firewood in the box. How long has it been since you replenished it? You really have been letting things slip around here. Perhaps it's time to start thinking more seriously about what you'll do in the coming days. To tell the truth, you're not confident anything about this place will be enough protection in a bad freeze or heavy snow. Now, would you like to walk to your tree, walk to the village, or make love? I'm noticing a pattern.
I am too. I Walk to the Tree, or what was the other one?
Walk to the Village.
So how long did my making love last the first time? Did it say? It didn't go into very big
detail. It did
detail.
not say.
So hours? Like normal?
Like normal.
Yeah. It always takes everybody 2 hours to make love to their sweet ladies, right?
We made love.
Walk to the Tree. What was the other one? Walk to the Tree or Walk to the Village?
Walk to the Village.
Let's walk to the tree.
Walk to your tree. The tree.
Mindy, I'm going to go walk to our love tree.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the top of the hill?
Top of the hill, a sugar maple. As a lonely, awkward little boy, you would play here. And when they came,
I used to play here by myself.
When it came into your life, it was the place the two of you would sit and talk for hours, even before you finally mustered up the courage to say the words that had gone unspoken for so long between you. You've been calling it our tree for the last 4 years whenever either of you speak of it. Your hand caresses well-known lines in the bark, a heart with the names Merc and Mindy inside. On impulse, you pull out your knife and carve it all in deeper.
Got to make sure this doesn't go away ever in our tree, Mindy.
The branches are bare now, and the wind up here is quite a bit stronger and carries a bitter chill. You really ought to find some firewood and supplies. You can't have them getting sick again. Below, you see the abandoned shops and dwellings of your old village huddled together around the little church you eventually came to hate.
Oh, I used to hate that church.
You can go back to the cottage or walk to the village.
It's been a while since I made love, so I'm going to go back to the cottage. This is kind of ominous.
This basically puts you right back in the last description I read. So now you can walk to the tree, walk to the village, or make love.
I want to make love again. Mindy, I was at our tree and I saw her heart and it gave me a heart on, if you know what I mean.
Again, it's another repeat. I just can't stay away from you. You emit with a little laugh, crawling under the covers and covering them with kisses. You love making slow and gentle. Ever since their illness, you've been mindful of the fact that they're a bit fragile still. Afterwards, the two of you spend some time cuddling before you reluctantly extricate yourself from the bed.
I have some weird feelings that this is not a human right now.
The only choice you haven't made is walk to the village.
Yeah, I'll walk to the village now.
You have such mixed feelings about this place. You grew up here. You knew absolutely everyone and considered them your neighbors and friends. For a while, your life was good, even if pretty obviously not going anywhere. So much changed in the last couple of years. The sickness emptied the houses and filled the graveyards, and it was like a frost settled in the survivors' hearts. Everyone became so intolerant and ugly. In the end, you were glad to see the last of them leave. Although the sight of the empty and staring husks of the buildings and the overgrown yards abandoned now even by the feral cats and stray chickens you happened across in the warmer months will never sit right with you. Your breath puffs clouds of white fog into the air and the silence is absolute.
Oh, there's nothing worse than a wild chicken.
You can go to your mother's house, the house of healing, the communal kitchen, or the old church.
Let's go to the communal kitchen because I just made love twice and walked up a hill. I am hungry.
Not everyone had been so well off as to have a sturdy brick fireplace and iron stove of their own like your mother did. And so this had been the place anyone could go to cook their family's meals or wash dishes and clothes by the pump out back. You and your companion had come here almost every night for nearly a year, as giddy and fond of each other as any other newlyweds, and making the young girls all giggle behind their hands. Both of you were terrible cooks, but you've been determined to make a go of housekeeping on your own and not rely on your mother aside from her lavish Sunday dinners. Thankfully, in this building, there were enough veteran housewives around that they were happy enough to teach you the basics once they realized how utterly helpless you both were. Yet in the end, those who were left hadn't even allowed you and your companion to come in here together, not able to bear the able to bear subjecting you to their unfriendly stares. You taken on the burden yourself, cooking and cleaning in silence, and then escaping as soon as possible, trying to pretend like you couldn't hear the whispers. The squeaking and scuffing of rats in a corner draws you from your reverie. You can search or go back outside.
I'm going to search.
During the sickness and for much of its aftermath, hot stew have been kept bubbling here for those who had nothing else, and rummaging in the pantries in the back, you're able to find some fragments of beef jerky and a small sack of potatoes sprouting all over with pale eyes that never made it to the pot. You take them with you when you go.
Oh, Mindy loves beef jerky.
All right, so now you can go to your mother's house, the House of Healing, or the old church.
Let's go to the House of Healing. Because I just had that sexual feeling.
If you've taken them here soon, where things have happened differently, you thought it was just the flu they had at first, and that you could care for them at home. The realization hadn't sunk in yet just how serious things were going to get for you or any other villagers. Once the death bells started ringing, and you did bring them in, the healer and their daughters were being run ragged, and so you cared for them yourself. You don't remember sleeping at all that month, and when the healer told you it was lost cause, that there was nothing anyone could do, and that the priest must be called, and the cot was needed for others, you took them home and continued to care for them yourself. You don't remember sleeping that next month either.
I just kept saying, trust the science, and no one believed me.
Now they lie beside you in bed every night and smile at you every morning because you weren't willing to give up. Let the others say what they will, but the love the two of you share is an enduring one that the world can never touch. You found some candles that are still in a drawer, and you take them with you when you go.
Ooh, I got beef jerky. Potatoes, now candles.
So now you can go to your mother's house or the old church.
Let's go to the old church. I'm going to save Mama's place for last. Mama's house.
This place you don't really have any good memories. As a boy, the wooden pews were hard and uncomfortable. The scratchiness of your Sunday clothes was a constant irritation, and the priest's voice droned on and on. Years later, the old man's successor would declare you to be under the influence of demons and encourage your neighbors to send your companion away. They poisoned your mind of your own mother against you. Even now it hurts to think of it. You shiver, but not from the winter chill. The coldness you always feel here has nothing to do with the weather. Would you like to search in here?
You get caught one time at the tree with your pants around your ankles and they get upset. Yeah, let's search.
On a whim, you check one of the pews near the back. Yes, the same loose board is still there in the same place it was when you were younger. You used to sit right behind it and kick it to annoy the glaring pug-faced little girl who always sat in front of you. Whenever your mother wasn't looking all those years, and they never fixed it. You tug at the board, and it comes away in your hand. A sheet of paper flutters out, and you pick it up, noting it appears to be a poem of some kind before stuffing it in your pocket. The wood of the board appears quite old and is cracking in places. Hell, wood is wood. I can use this, you tell yourself.
Yeah.
It feels a bit like vandalism, but there's no one left, and it turns out to be surprisingly satisfying to break down the rest of the pew until you have a small stack of boards and fragments, enough to keep the fire going tonight. You take them with you when you go.
Oh, the heat of Mindy will keep me warm, and this fire as well. It'll set the mood, too, with these candles and jerky.
You now have a poem. You now have a poem in your inventory. Would you like to use it? Or
no,
you can go back outside.
I'm going to go back outside. I'm going to save my poem. That's for me and Mindy.
The poem. The only place left to go is your mother's house.
Ooh, let's go to Mama's house.
Rusted hinges give a squeal of protest as you tug open the door, and a lump rises in your throat as you look and enter. Growing up, you'd always been close to your mother. She never made you feel lacking for not being like quite the other boys, and there was nothing you couldn't confide in them. Mother had cooked you and Mindy dinner many times over their old cast iron stove and served it at their table with intricately carved legs that had been a wedding gift from their grandfather, a carpenter, to her own mother so many years ago. The stove and table are gone now, like most of the rest of the furniture in the house. Your creditors had gobbled up their due the instant the place became yours. You were so ready to remove yourself from village life by then, you never did get around to selling the house. The Lord knows you could have used the money. People. Mindy's long illness and recovery had cost you literally everything, and the loss of your mother had come soon after. She had taken such care of this little house right up until the end, and it hurts to see it this way. Would you like to search your mother's house?
Yeah, I'll search again. Mama says. What did Mama say? Mama says this place is the devil.
In a partially unraveled wicker basket, half hidden behind a few other odds and ends the debt collectors had found unappealing, you find a neatly folded quilt. It uses the same log cabin pattern as the one she'd given you, and indeed the night you moved from here to the place you purchased together on the other side of the square. The strips of cloth are more muted in color, but your eyes prickle with tears when you spot the burgundy fabric and tiny white flowers of a dress you remember helping her sew. The blanket still smells like rose petals when you crush it to your cheeks, and the material is thick and invitingly warm. It will be a welcome defense against this early winter. You take it with you when you go.
Heck yeah, there's nothing better than those old-style quilts.
Oh, a new choice has popped up, Shawn. There's a new place to go.
Ooh, where am I going?
Now, you still have the poem in your inventory. I'm just throwing it out there. The last choice, or the choice that has just popped up, is an abandoned little house at the end of the lane.
Ooh. Well, I've already got a bunch of stuff. Let me read this poem.
Okay. Use poem. It's a poem called Home by Emily Dickinson.
Oh, is it actually by Emily Dickinson?
I believe so.
It's not Home by 3 Days Grace?
No, it's Emily Dickinson.
Wait, was she the one that put her head in the... Who put her head in the oven?
I would argue that Emily Dickinson is much more emo than 3 Days Grace.
Yeah, was she the one that put her head in the oven?
I don't know if she put her head in the oven. Years I had been from home, and now before the door I dared not open, lest a face I never saw before stare vacant into mine and ask my business there. My business, just a life I left with such still dwelling there. I fumbled at my nerve. I scanned the windows near. The silence like an ocean rolled and broke against my ear. I laughed a wooden laugh that I could fear adore, who danger and the dead had faced, but never quaked before. I fitted to the latch, my hand with trembling care, lest back the awful door should spring and leave me standing there. I moved my fingers off as cautiously as glass, and held my ears, and like a thief, fled gasping from the house.
Ooh, put some guitar riffs behind that.
Yeah.
No, she didn't die from putting her head in the oven. She died from a Bright's disease, which is like a kidney disease. She was 55. I thought there was some famous female poet that did that put her head in the oven and died.
I have no idea. I mean, it's an author. Is it just me, or does it seem like most authors in like the late early 1900s, they all like just, they all seemed like tortured people.
I mean, you see that now, like comedians and authors, like even to today, I think are tortured people. It's kind of like the clown thing, like you put on, like you're trying to bring joy into the world, and like you like open yourself up with this stuff, and like no matter how many people. I
mean, like I don't know, like comedians and celebrities today, like they strike me as, as having to deal with things, and they seem. They seem, like very much like responding to the circumstances that they face. But I wouldn't. But like they don't strike. They never strike me as like unhappy or depressed people. They strike me as like, you know, normal people that are dealing with extraordinary situations and circumstances due to their celebrity and or money and or success and or fame.
I mean, like, Robin Williams was like, I think he always had some kind of deep depression.
I would. Robin Williams to me seems like more of an exception than the rule. But like authors back then, they seemed like, actually tortured isn't the right word. They seemed like you look at like Emily Dickinson or Hemingway or like all those guys. Like Hemingway was, you know, Hemingway was a pretty big asshole. But like a lot of authors then, like they seem like truly haunted. And haunted's probably the best word I could think of. I mean, it's not that I knew any of them. It's just that's, you know.
Yeah. It's just, well, like Poe, too. Like Poe seemed like a tortured dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's like you live in that time where it's like, oh, you write? Huh. You know what I do all day? I try to make food so I don't die in the winter.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
Okay, so the only option you have left is the abandoned little house at the end of the lane.
Ooh, I'll go there. Wait, I can't go back to my cottage and make love?
Maybe you could, but I'm sure it'd just be a repeat of the text. It just says you don't want to go there.
What? I don't want to go to the abandoned home?
You don't want to go there, and then it gives you the option of going to the village or the abandoned house at the end of the lane.
Well, what happens if I go back to the village? I don't want to go there.
It's the exact, it's the same text as when you were at the village before.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go back to the cottage.
Oh, you want to go back? You're not going to the abandoned little house?
No, I got to go back to the cottage. I don't want to go there.
Okay, well, that's crazy. I guess you could walk to your tree and then go back to the cottage.
Yeah, I feel like in a roundabout way, this is just for me to make sweet, sweet love again with my beef jerky.
Okay, then you want to make love. Oh, no, yeah. It all seems like a repeat of the text.
Yeah. Well, it seems like, I mean, I know this is
it seems like you're getting railroaded to the abandoned little house at the end of the lane.
Well, and to keep you from being tortured to be in this loop that I could put you through for the next 20 minutes, let's go to
the flimsy boards nailed across the door strain to contain the shadows. Memories crouch within like predatory things. You don't want to go there. But I guess you're going anyway.
Yep, I'm going to pull that thing down. Why do I want to go there? Don't tell me what to do, inner monologue.
Your hands tremble, and you struggle to find the strength to pull the boards away from the door.
Spaghetti on my shirt.
Once inside, why did I come here again, you say to yourself.
Oh, why did I come here? I could be back at the cottage making love again for the fourth time
Raking
today.
your fingers through your hair and tugging hard, you make your way through the empty rooms, your mind unerringly placing the furnishings you had chosen together. Mindy, oh Mindy, why didn't I take you to the healer sooner? Why'd you have to? You stop within a doorway and swallow hard, tears stinging your eyes. Right up against the wall, that's where the bed went, where the two of you had made so much love.
Oh my God, we made so much love there. Wait.
And where Mindy had languished after the healers gave up on them. Unable to keep down.
Oh God, all these memories.
Even a few spoonfuls of broth, coughing up until blood showed on the pillow, alternatively shaking with chills and burning up with fever.
She was so cold.
They didn't even recognize you. They spent half the night raving like a lunatic. Then in the early hours fell silent a while, and then
Mindy!
They could only manage a hoarse whisper, but you were at their side in an instant, kneeling by the bed and gripping their hand. A fog descended over their eyes. It's only here in this place you allow yourself to think of it. Why did you come here again?
Why did I come here? I could be making love.
Because Mindy had drawn a final gasping breath, squeezed your hand, and no, Mindy, don't leave me, you begged. I won't let you leave me. The last had been a promise, and one you kept. When everything else failed, You begun to despair at the thought of consigning your love to the grave. The men from the capital had come. They had a method previously used only on kings and did their work admirably well. It had cost you, of course, every stick of furniture in your home, your business and theirs, the fields your family had owned for 5 generations, all the money your mother had given you with a traditional funeral in mind, and finally loans from the debtors. But in the end, it was worth it. They'd remained at your side, still looking much like they did before, still with a signature smile that you remember so well.
Oh, I remember.
Man, that was a bit of a roller coaster there. I was like, oh God, it's like they're actually dead and there's a corpse in your bed.
Wait, what is it then? I thought like they made him like into wax or something.
No, it sounds like they made them all better. And it cost you, basically you like ditched your entire fortune and promised fortune.
Wait, so Mindy's alive?
Yeah, I guess.
Read on. I don't think she is. There's nobody in this town.
That smile. It's like a ray of sunshine piercing your heart on a dreary winter's day. You approach them and kiss them full on the lips, impulsively slipping them a bit of tongue.
Oh, shit. I know what this is.
Rise and shine, sleepyhead, you say with a chuckle, helping them out of bed and over to their chair. I found a few useful things in the village. Draping your mother's quilt over their shoulders, you then move to arrange some fragments of board in the cold fireplace. You tear the sheet of paper with a poem into fine shreds and then set to work with flint and steel. I wonder whether we should move to one of the houses there for winter. You say after a moment, most of them are in better shape than the one this is. After eyeing the gaps in the wall, you continue, though I suppose I could scavenge some boards and tools and shore this place up a bit better against the wind so we could just stay here. What do you think? So are you going to stay there or are you going to move to the village?
Let's move to the village.
Probably for the best, you agree with a nod. A fly lands on one of their eyelids as you absently shoo it away. We'll head that way in the morning. You know it will be difficult getting them over the hill in their current condition, but trying to stick it out in the shack all winter would surely be unwise. The two of you spend a romantic evening curled up under your mother's quilt in front of the fire, your hands roaming all over their stiff limbs.
Oh, God.
But in the morning, you find the temperature has dropped dramatically and the path to the village has disappeared under a thick blanket of snow. Standing at the door, you see it still coming down quite heavily and retreat back inside for another day of casual lovemaking.
Oh, Mindy.
Man, you are just like, man, you are a machine.
I know, right? How did Mindy get all the way from my cottage to here, too? I'm cheating on my dead corpse wife with another dead corpse.
The wind picks up and the air turns bitterly, dangerously cold. The snow continues to fall, piling up in front of the door during the night. Quite alarmed now with the prospect of getting trapped in this place, you wait till late morning, then wrap them up in a quilt, and with a great many reassurances, the two of you start out. Trudging through the snow, you realize how impossible this terrain will be for your lover. I'll just carry you then, you declare, lifting them bodily and continuing on. The climb is grueling, excruciating, far more so than expected, and about halfway up the hill, the worst happens. Your leg plunges into a deeply hidden pocket of snow, and struggling to pull yourself free, you overcompensate, stumbling backwards and tumbling down the hill. Groaning, you lift your head, wincing at your sore neck and shoulders. It feels like you've pulled something, but those concerns vanish in a moment when you catch the sight.
Oh, Mindy. Oh, you'd think I'd be in so much better shape after all the lovemaking.
Oh, no, you shriek, the anguish in your voice torn away by the wind. No, 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 no. Scrambling over to their side, you clutch at them, sobbing, trying to realign their torn and shattered limbs to something like they were supposed to be. Hours pass, and you simply lie there and hold them, crying softly and helpless to make them better. Dimly, some part of you realizes
Mindy,
that unless you get moving again, you'll die here. But there's no possible way you can safely carry them when they're like this. What do I do, you whisper, choking back another sob as it rises in your chest. Are you going to abandon them and save yourself, or stay there together come what may?
Well, Mindy, you've got my lucky blanket, so I'm going to pile snow around you, and I'm going to go on and save myself.
Ooh.
Because you're a dead corpse.
I'm sorry. You whisper the words in their ear, feeling sick to your stomach. Slowly, reluctantly, you climb to a sitting position, your body aching all over, but most of all, within your heart, kneeling at Mindy's side, you give them one last kiss, then rise, dashing away the tears as they freeze on your cheeks. Eyes of glass stare unblinkingly at you, mutely bearing witness to your betrayal as you stagger away. It's a miracle you can even find the village. The way your own sight has been blurred by tears, but finally you find yourself within the church, tugging the heavy doors firmly shut behind you. Numbly, you force yourself to go through the motions of breaking apart another pew and building a fire to ward off the deadly cold. At every moment, your hands stop in their work. Your mind floods with the awful realization of what you've done.
Oh, I left that dead body out there to freeze to death. Mindy!
You spend hours on your knees praying not to God, but to Mindy, begging them to forgive you for abandoning them, for your failure to carry them safely here today.
Oh, damn.
For your failure to bring the healers.
Oh, shit. I'm hard on myself.
To the healers last year, for going on living when they were gone. Finally, falling into a fitful sleep, something awakens you hours later. You don't know what it is. One moment you were dreaming, the next you were instantly, completely awake. In that moment, you realize with sudden and peaceful certainty just what you need to do. You rise to your feet, take out your knife.
I need to make love to Mindy!
And cut your mother's quilt into strips, humming to yourself as you braid them together. Before long, you have a passable rope. Without hesitation, you hang yourself from the rafters?
Damn!
Wow.
I shouldn't be doing this without a spotter. Mindy's not here to make love. Mindy's not here. I have to improvise.
The end.
Oh, damn. That was a dark one.
That was a dark one.
So I was banging a dead corpse, wasn't I?
Okay.
Yeah.
If you stay there together. You cling to them, sobbing quietly until the tears freeze on your cheeks and you're too worn out to continue. Reverently wrapping them up in your mother's quilt, you try and keep warm and cover the worst of the damage. But you have no such concerns for yourself. Without your love, there is nowhere for you to go and no reason for you to go on. Hours pass, the wild wind whips in more snow, and your fingers turn blue, but no part of you stings like your heart. Mindy, didn't I promise you we'd always be together? You mumble, pressing stiff lips against stiff lips as the deadly cold creeps into every corner of your body. Together forever, those words are your final thought as warm memories of the time you had together flood your brain. You take them with you when you go, and you're still dead.
Man, just like life. So he was banging a dead corpse, right? Is that what this is saying?
That's what happened. Yeah. And you did that. You did that like 3 times. You did that like 4 times.
Well, after the first one, I was like, I don't know about this. This might be a dead corpse.
And then you went back and did it again. And then you left, and then you went to the village, and then you came back and did it again. And then you did it again, and then you left.
Well, I mean, after the second time,
you both died.
Yeah, after the second time,
then you died.
Yeah. After the second time, I was pretty sure it was a dead corpse. So 2 of the times was kind of gross, but...
Well, the third time, I was like, man, I don't know. There's something off about this.
Yeah, there's a lot of weirdness going on here. Maybe I should go back for a 4th. When you said I went back to the house and ripped the thing off, like I was expecting like I was bringing the sickness into the house. That's why I didn't want to go there. Oh,
maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Man, that one was dark. I don't know how I feel about that one.
Yeah, that was. I was going with the top rated ones overall.
That one's one of the top rated ones.
Yes.
Like it's no Berkazerka, but you want to feel like a complete piece of shit after this? You just had sex with a dead corpse.
True story.
So like let's kind of break this down. Like this is like the Talking Dead per se.
Okay.
So I was in a cottage and I was banging who I thought was Mindy. And then I left her.
I did change it slightly because originally I thought that the protagonist was a woman. And so actually in the story, their name was actually Mondi and they were a guy. And I thought you as the protagonist were supposed to be a girl. So I just kind of like gender swapped the two of you.
Uh-huh.
But actually, and I didn't realize until partway through, and so I wanted to mention it after. Actually, what the premise of the other premise of the story is that your name was Merc and your companion's name was Mondi, not Mindy.
Oh, okay.
So you were two men that were together, and that's why everybody in the village hated you.
Oh, man, I don't know how I feel about that. It's like two dudes then having like, I don't know. I like the way you did it just 'cause I feel like it's filling into like some kind of weird stereotype type thing.
What do you mean?
I don't know. It just feels like, I don't know.
I don't know. I was trying to make it. I was appropriating their gender because I hadn't read the story in its entirety.
What I'm saying is, if you presented it that way, like I still would go back 4 times to bang my lover. Is what I'm saying.
All right.
So I was banging my lover at the cottage, but then I went to the abandoned house and there was somebody else there. So was I banging multiple corpses?
No, I think it was the same one.
But I went to an abandoned cottage.
Yeah, that was the house that you used to live in.
Oh,
and
but I went back.
And you were having memories of when you lived there.
Oh, okay. I thought I was still there and there was somebody there. And that's who I picked up and took.
Yeah, I don't know.
I got a little confused there. So it's like all these corpses are Mindy.
Okay. The next one I'm gonna read you, because I mean we got a little bit of time. I'll see how far you can get. This one's called Death Song.
Okay.
Seems a bit more metal, so I thought we'd have it not be like such a tearful, weird, oddly necrophiliac-y journey.
Yeah, I thought the middle one, the necromancer, would have been the corpse loving. Well,
you'd like nothing more than to go through with your childhood dreams of becoming a traveling bard without any responsibility. You don't have that luxury. Hell, you barely have time to play your lute anymore. And the small amount of free time you do have, you doubt it would even be good enough to make a living for just yourself doing it. But you need to get away. But what can you do that won't allow you to completely abandon your mom and all your brothers and sisters? You suddenly think the choice that many in your desperate position have thought many times before. The Army.
OnlyFans. Oh.
It's not exactly ideal, but you'd be traveling and seeing the world, so to speak. You'd also be making enough money that you could send to your family. Your own living expenses would be provided for by the Army. As you're thinking about this, you realize there's another option. There's a small mercenary company passing through the area. They've been hanging out at the local tavern for a couple days, and they don't seem to be the noblest sort from what you can tell. But fortunately, they seem to have kept their revelry confined to the tavern. Who knows how they act away from civilization, though? It's something to consider. There probably is less attention to discipline and a little more relaxed on rules and regulations. You probably wouldn't be fighting in some mass land war that governments are fond of waging. Mercenaries travel a lot and tend to make more. However, they tend to get hired for weirder jobs, usually ones that the employer doesn't want people to know about or ones that nobody else seems to be able to handle. Would you like to enlist in the Army or Sign up with the mercenaries.
Ooh, I'm going to join the mercenaries because I bet they're going to go to a village because there's a rumor that there's a necrophiliac there. There's a guy banging all these dead corpses. We got to take care of him.
Hey, job's done. He hung himself in the church.
We still get paid, right?
Yeah. Easiest $50 I ever made.
Like I always say, Tom, you better have a spotter.
Where is this spotter? Found him. That's terrible.
That is. That's pretty bad.
Funny, though. You're not sure if the form of military life is for you. If you joined up, you wouldn't be able to readily leave. Oh, this is a big, long thing. Let's see. Hey, wait up, you say in a slightly loud tone, causing one mean-looking mercenary to snarl at you. Shut up, yokel. Shit, I got a splitting headache and it hurts like a son of a bitch. Sorry, are you the leader of the company? Leader of these dickheads? No, the boss is actually visiting his family in the capital. We're going to meet up with him now, so I suggest you get the fuck out of our way and not waste any more of our time. And then you say, but I want to join you guys.
Yeah, I want to join you guys. I want to be I want to work for that dickhead.
A raucous laughter is heard throughout the tavern. You hear that, fellows? The yokel wants to join us. Thanks a lot. I needed a good laugh. Now go fuck your pigs or whatever it is you farm types do. But I'm serious. Serious, farm boy? This is a man's job. You ever even use a damn weapon? And then you say, yeah, I got this bow and sword, and I'm a really good shot. The mercenary looks unimpressed. Will you ever kill anyone? Hell, you ever kill anything? And I'm not talking about your livestock you might have slaughtered. I mean something sentient. And you say, well, yeah, I've killed kobolds that were trying to steal chickens from the mercenaries. Begin to laugh again. Oh, you are priceless, boy. My sister can kill fucking kobolds, and her only talent is whoring.
Whoa. Where's your sister at?
Dimitri draws a sword and stomps over to Fermal, who is trying to get one of his buddies to help him. But everyone else is backing away from the fight after Dimitri says, oh, you got that one right, Dimitri. You want to join Heisei? Kill this piece of shit then. Did I stutter, pig farmer? Kill this. Ah, fuck. Fermal is now taking advantage of Dimitri by shoving a dagger into his leg and scrambling to get up.
Oh, shit.
At this point, you unwisely step into the middle of this fight. Hold on. The pair of you are even now. Fuck off, pig farmer. You want some of this now? Let's see how much of a killer you are. Fermal says, who doesn't look frightened of you at all and heads in your direction. You barely dodge his sword swipe to your head. No. You roll out of the way and quickly grab an arrow and shoot it at Fermelli, hitting him with your bow. Hitting him square in the neck.
Oh, got your neck.
Out, and a surprised look on his face is displayed when he falls over dead. You've killed him and you've never killed anything before that wasn't a kobold or livestock. You feel weird.
Oh, I don't feel good.
Maybe you are a killer after all, pig farmer. It seems we have an opening now. Take whatever he had as your own. You killed him. You earned it. Welcome to the Chimera Mercenary Company. While you may be in, you're not necessarily sure if you want in.
I'm carrying the body around. Do you want to
join anyway or go back home?
I'm going to carry the body with me. It's like, why are you bringing the body? You said everything's mine. It gets lonely at the camp. I'm going to join. I have the taste for blood now.
Let's see. All right, you useless sacks of goblin shit. We got a new job. This one just came across rather unexpectedly. Ran to a dwarven representative, and we're now in the employ of a dwarven clan near the southern Tulane borders. With the occurrence of this neuro incident, they're expecting some shit to spill over into their lands, and they want extra help. This is pretty surprising since dwarves aren't known to pay for mercenaries, let alone the likes of us. The boss tells you all the Tulane border, that place is a meat grinder. There's no profit to be had anywhere near there. Well, you can pick up your panties and get your pansy ass back home and stay there then. Dwarves are paying well, and that's the job. Take it or get out of my company. Excuse me, Captain, but weren't there reports of demons running through that area? If those necromancer bastards started spreading their plague yet, we'll leave. Haven't started spreading their plague. We'll leave tomorrow. You think on this fucked up situation and seriously reconsidering your career choice. Are you sticking with it or leaving?
I'll stick with it. I already come this far.
I'm scrolling through there's big swaths of text. I was trying to find a good stopping point, and then basically putting everything on a cliffhanger. Let's see. The demon hunting in the mines is actually a very mundane job. They certainly are horrible-looking creatures and very vicious, but after the first few times you get used to it, these particular demons have an insect-like appearance, so maybe that's why they behave the way they do. They aren't very tough in the scheme of things, but like Morty said, there do seem to be a lot, and you can't use your bow like you want to either due to the cramped mine conditions. Demons aren't really the problem, though. The problem is Dimitri. After one of the harder battles, Maury is attempting to catch his breath. Dimitri notices the very large silver deposit you're next to and the silver that's just there for the taking. He quietly whispers to you that you should waylay Maury and take some of the silver. Leave his body to be munched on by a wandering demon. Who's to know? You're not really for this plan, and you say no, but Dimitri begins to argue, and Maury notices the both of you. I'm not doing it, the captain said. You exclaim. You fucking pussy, Dimitri says, pushing you. What are we doing? What are you two on about? Dimitri takes the opportunity of distraction and hits Maury in the face with a silver bar that he's lifted off the ground earlier. You bastard, you'll pay for this treachery, Maury utters, falling to the ground. Come on, this is your last chance to be a man and help me out, pig farmer. Dimitri starts to go and finish off Maury. And so where we'll leave it is, are you going to help Dimitri or are you going to help Maury?
Ooh, let's get that for the next one. I'll answer that next time.
Yeah.
I like that.
Same BroVenture time, same BroVenture channel.
Yeah. Except in this, yeah. That's good, because then people are going to be like, I wasn't really sure about the whole corpse thing, but I'm into this one now.
Yeah. Always leave them wanting more. I don't know who said that. P.T. Barnum said that.
Mindy said that. She said, I'm always going to make sure you want more. And then she died. And I was like, well.
Just following orders.
Well, Richard, that was our BroVenture second run at that, and we're going to be a two-parter on this one. So do you have any Richard's closing thoughts on this episode?
Love is love.
Mm-hmm.
But love with a corpse is not love. That is you.
This is great.
With an object. It's an object now, and then that's just weird.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I guess what I'm saying is that, sleeping with somebody is one thing, but when they're dead, they're it's not a person. And so it's like sleeping with a very creepy, soft blow-up doll.
At that point, I don't even know if it's soft. Because it talked about that they were stiff.
And that's not good. That's not good for anybody.
Yeah. I really feel like we should figure out who the author is, because they probably have some disturbing things, and we should never visit that person ever. But I'm excited for the second one to see where that goes, because that's a D&D style adventure. I'm a pig farmer. I'm making some good choices.
That is Death's Song.
But all right, well, let me do a little bit of housekeeping. Visit our website, we're languageofbromance.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at languageofbro. Email us at bros@languageofbromance.com. And if you want to choose your own adventure, join our Patreon, yes or no, like Wendy and Aaron.
They are still choosing their own adventure, and we are providing it and both of us are still alive. So there's that.
Ooh, you know what? When one of us dies, we could podcast together. That'd be nope. Like like tonight, you're gonna be like, Amanda, the minute I die, you burn my body. Why? 4 times, Amanda. 4 times. All right. Well, is there anything else before I close her out?
No, I'm good, sir.
All right. Well, that's all the Bromance have for this show. I'm Shawn.
Nah, I'm Richard.
And remember, don't B-O-Y. B-O-Y not.
Nope.
Yeah. I knew I should have stopped after the second one. I knew something was up.